colleague, Congressman Brian Babin, recently led a delegation of 13 members of Congress to the border. However, they were denied access by Biden's Department of Justice for a tour of the El Paso Intelligence Center, which houses the DEA and other law enforcement partners, and were given a vague offer to try maybe again in a few months. So in response, Congressman Babin is demanding an answer from Attorney General Merrick Garland. Congressman Babin of Texas is the co-chairman of the Border Security Caucus, and he joins us now. Thanks for being here tonight, Congressman.
Good to be with you as always, Carol.
So in your letter to the AG, you say the denial of your congressional delegation to have access to this El Paso Intel Center is unacceptable, and that makes a mockery of our checks and balances. So tell us what happened that day when you were denied entry.
Well, we've been working to try, been requesting a tour of the facility for weeks ahead of time, and this is El Paso Intelligence Center is the facility that actually where we have several federal agencies, and among their very important mandates and functions is the keeping drugs and interdicting these drugs that are coming in. The Biden administration has just simply created a monster on our border. As my good friend from South Carolina, Mr. Norman, just was asking Secretary Mayorkas, who can't seem to tell the truth. It's amazing to me that he sits there and denies what's reality. He tells our lying eyes don't believe what we're seeing. But the Department of Justice denied us entry into the El Paso Intelligence Center, which is an absolute violation of our Article I constitutional rights of oversight over this facility. The Drug Enforcement Agency that is tasked with keeping the drugs out, and we have overwhelming numbers of drugs. Fentanyl, for example, the most deadly drug that we have on the border, is up over 300%. And we have seen the deaths from overdoses of American citizens escalate from around 70 to 72,000 to just within a short time, we have over 90,000 Americans dying from overdoses. And we wanted to see, which is our right, our constitutional right, to find out just what is going on. Are they protecting us at the El Paso Intelligence Center? Show us around. Let us see what's going on down there, and let us see exactly why these drugs are escalating at such enormous rates. What do they have to hide? Why is the Department of Justice denying us the right to come in and see? We were elected officials representing the American people. We fund it. We appropriate these funds. We authorize this facility, and there were 13 of us, and simply denied by the Department of Justice. And it was inexcusable, and that's why we wrote this letter. To see if AG Garland would give us some answers. I'm not holding my breath, Carol.
Did you ever get any reason for why you were denied access except for this little vague offer of maybe try again in September or sometime in the fall? Was there any reason given to you?
Quite frankly, there were no valid reasons for us not to get it. I had actually toured this facility during the Trump administration, think back in 2018. Just an excellent facility, doing a great job at that point in time. But we never got anything except that the timing of this is not right. We worked on this for weeks. We were told that perhaps September or October we could get in. You cannot tell members of Congress who have oversight over this facility when they can come, when they cannot come. You give them that much ahead of time and warning. All we're going to get is a dog and pony show, like we heard Mr. Mayorkas trying to tell my good friend Ralph Norman from South Carolina in that line of questioning. The Biden administration is simply missing in action here. Their determination to open our borders up and in de facto turn over control of our border to the cartels for human trafficking, for drug trafficking, for terrorist watch lists individuals are coming across. We've got over 1,000% increase in the number of criminals, illegal alien criminals coming across, from murder to rape to child molestation, you name it. They're coming over, and the determination by this Biden administration to simply let these people in, put them on public services, and get them on a path to enfranchisement, citizenship, so they can vote and become a new Democrat voting bloc to keep the Democrats in power. That's the exact reason for why this situation is such. And we hear from I've been on that border. I've been in every state from California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas on that southern border, and have talked to stakeholders, to ranchers, to landowners, to local and law enforcement people, to townspersons. And the numbers that are coming across are astounding. We're on track for 1.5 million to 2 million illegals coming in by the end of this year, and they're getting more and more brazen. They're threatening landowners. They're making demands and creating committing vandalism, destruction, just on purpose. This is what we're hearing from the local sheriffs down there. The Biden administration obviously could care less about this. They're just determined to open our borders up and turn this thing into a nightmare. I don't know how many more unfortunate young migrant children, 3 to 5 year olds, that we're going to have to see dumped over the top of an 18-foot wall, and people dying in the deserts, and local law enforcement asking for body bags because there's more and more corpses being found. How much more of this are we going to have to see before this president will start enforcing his oath to uphold the laws of this country? It's wide open down there, and it's a disgrace.
Well, I know in your state of Texas, actually, the governor, Greg Abbott, he's actually taking this matter into his own hands, since we know the Biden administration has been doing everything that they can to halt border construction that was being started under President Trump. And so we see today, actually, Governor Abbott, he actually put down a $250 million down payment on the border wall construction. Do you think that's a good first step of some of these border states taking control?
I think this is absolutely the necessity that we've been driven to by this derelict federal government, this administration under President Biden and Vice President Harris. We have no choice. We've got people who are being murdered, raped, robbed. Their gates are destroyed. Their fences are torn down. Their doors are broken into. Their homes are broken into. There are citizens down there on that border that need protection, and their federal government is absent without leave. They are AWOL. And so the Constitution specifies in 2 different areas, without going into detail, I can just tell you the Constitution specifies that in the event of an invasion, a foreign invasion, where you have citizens that are not being protected by the federal government, it is simply the duty of that state to step up into the gap of the federal government and start controlling this border, making arrests, even deporting these people and prosecuting them, because these people have absolutely no fear. They're coming in, as I said, they're brazen now. They're just waltzing across, and they're making demands, and they're getting on public services. And we've got to educate, we've got to medicate, we've got to incarcerate a lot of these people, and it's costing hundreds of millions of dollars. And that was another thing. We went to Fort Bliss, Texas, to see an HHS facility, and the director of that facility could not answer the questions of congresspersons who were along to see this facility at Fort Bliss, on how much the American taxpayer it's costing them. He said, well, I don't have that information. Unbelievable that he would not have the information about what the budget is for his facility. We could tell we weren't really welcome at that facility either, but amazingly they couldn't tell us how much it was costing. But we know it's costing billions of dollars to open these borders up like this, and endangering the future of our great democratic republic.
It is mind-boggling. You're exactly right. But Congressman, thank you so much for dropping by tonight.
Thank you, Kara. God bless.